How you guys doing? Welcome back to Listen Up. Today we have
Chef Jeff of Chef Jeff Catering.
So once again, this is another black-owned business that started from the ground up, and we're going to get into how Chef Jeff Catering came into existence. So without further ado, Chef Jeff, how did this happen?
All right. I want to say it officially began in 2005 after I finished culinary school and I kind of took myself seriously. But I want to say I've been loving to cooking or trying to cook since I was about like 7, 8 years old. You know, playing around with different things that I probably shouldn't have been playing with at that age. Down to, I know this is my first time saying this for the public, but I actually want to tell a story about it. I had an easy bake oven. I got that for one Christmas. So, you know, it's been a long time coming, but that was like the inception of Chef Jeff, you know, coming from parents that cook, aunts that cook, uncles that cook. It was always something that was always around, so.
So what was your first thing that you cooked? Like, what was the first thing you said, you know, I'm gonna make this?
So the first thing I can remember making was, I remember I baked a potato and I mashed it, but then like I cut it into like a circular formation and like made it into like a pizza.
Right.
So I baked it, I baked it, I put it in something like the microwave and I cooked it up and I peeled it off and I mashed it up and I like put it in a circular formation. I don't know, cutting it like it was a little pie and I was eating it slice by slice. So that was as a child. And another thing I did was I used to make like fake pizza.
Okay.
You know, with ketchup, I would cut up hot dogs
right.
and Parmesan, not even like real cheese. I used to use Parmesan cheese on these to make my fake pizzas. One funny thing was I thought I was making cookies one time. Because back in the day, it was like the Crisco thing. And it had like a peanut butter cookie recipe on the
That's right.
Like back in the day. So I got a bottle, took the Crisco, took the peanut butter, mixed it up in a jar or in a bowl, and I put it in the freezer, thinking I was about to make some cookies. And I went back like an hour later, there was still no cookies. So I'm like, yo, what do I do now? So I checked back another hour and I'm like, yo, what's happening? And till this day, I was still waiting for those cookies to be made. So yeah, I've just been experimenting like my whole entire life in regards to cooking.
Okay, so now you finished culinary school. So why not just say, hey, you know what, let me try to get a job in a restaurant as opposed to catering? What made you go this route as opposed to a restaurant?
Well, I actually did start catering. My first job was actually at it was Bank of New York corporate dining. That was pretty cool, but it was also it was stagnant. There was nothing different to it. It was just like same routine thing. There was no creativity. And I was the youngest chef in there.
Right.
You know, coming in the youngest chef, you have all these guys that's been there for like 20, 30 years. You're not going nowhere fast.
Right.
Then I did Abigail Kirsch, which is Pierce Season Light in my house. That's by Chelsea Pierce.
Okay.
That was a pretty good job. Like all the chefs that I met there are so, you know, instrumental to where I'm at today because they pushed me to do so much. But the job that I hated that brought me to Chef Jeff Catering was my last and final job.
Okay.
That was OTG JFK. I don't know if they're gonna watch this, but it was that. It was OTG JFK, where it was cool. I worked there for about 3 years, and you know, you have all of these. I was just a line cook. I wasn't a head chef. I wasn't a sous. I wasn't none of that. But I had the duties of a head chef. Of, you know, of like bigger guys or whatever, but never the title, never the chef. So you know, going with that, knowing I know way around the kitchen at that point, I was kind of feeling myself. So I knew right from wrong in regards to how I wanted to be treated in the kitchen.
Right.
But there was one day I came into work and the chef he said something crazy to me, and I looked at him and I said, check it. I said, beyond this culinary arts degree, I also have my bachelor's in business administration. So if I wanted to never come back to your kitchen and do something in another kitchen or in another field, I could do it with or without you.
Right.
Here's your badge.
Right.
And that was back in 2011.
Right.
So from 2011 to this day, I have not clocked in for anybody besides Chef Jeff.
Nice. Okay, so now you have Chef Jeff Catering. So now Chef Jeff Catering, what are some of the events that you have on your resume? Like, how did you grow? Like,
So my first real event, I have to say, was at St. John's University. So I'll just big up, my fraternity, Phi Beta Sorority Fraternity Incorporated. It was actually a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Nasha. She was like, okay, so my frat brother is a chef, he's a caterer. He's gonna do our events from now on. So it was from that. Right. So St. John's kept me fed for like a few years. Like St. John's, like they were like, although they're a big institution, they were like those were my trial days. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had an idea of what I was doing, and she trusted me. Of course there was some things that, and she was so blunt, so she would definitely let me know what I could what I could do right. She's worked with so many different big catering companies, so it was that. It was actually the Black and White Ball.
Right.
That was my first big event. Crazy budget. I'm like, all right, well, let me just get the job done.
Okay.
So I did that. Pretty cool. Then down to they had other events there, like Haraya had events, Southern Haraya events, the Zetas had events. So everybody on campus started. I was like the go-to chef at that point. They also have their on-site catering thing too.
Right.
And they weren't even using them anymore. It was just, oh no, we're good. You guys can bring us. You can bring our drinks, but we getting the food from Chef Jeff. So I became like a St. John's, like I was like their personal private chef at one point.
And then, so from that point on, what was your next step? Like when?
After St. John's, I ended up doing a lot of different colleges. St. Joseph's, I did Westbury, I did Stony Brook. But that's also, being in the whole fraternal loop and like that. I was thinking a lot too, because they definitely gave me a lot of connections in the chef business, which kind of is where I'm at now. And then I kind of broke into doing cakes too.
Okay.
That was something big, doing the cakes, that kind of gave me some notoriety. So at one point, catering slowed down for me and it was all baking. So then I was kind of upset because I became known as this baker. That wasn't my thing. Even going to school, like I hated the baking section. I hated the pastry part. I was just waiting. I wish I could fast forward that part. I just never wanted to do it. And so, at one point in my career, I became known. Even now, like some people don't even realize I cook. It's all about, oh yeah, that's the guy that makes the cake. Oh, that's the guy that makes the cake. So right now, I'm kind of like 50-50 where it's the guy that makes the cake, so he does really nice, amazing food too. So it's just crazy how you plan your career to go one way, but it goes a totally different way. But it was for the best. So.
So now, when did this come on Chef Jeff Catering as far as branding it? When did you say, hey, you know what, I must really just start branding and I'm market myself?
It wasn't even a plan. My name is Jeff. I'm a chef. I cater. So it's like everything just kind of fell in place. And it's so funny. Sometimes people go, "Yo, is that your real name?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And my mom named me Jeff, and I was chef, so that's my name. So it was basically, I was just going by what I knew. Like I was the man behind, the stove, the kitchen, whatever it could be. So it was just like get the job done. And it had a ring to it, and I didn't see any other companies that had the same name. There wasn't nothing that compared to it. So I said, I'm gonna run with this. Like I'm a catering company, I'll stick with that. But then it kind of does box you off because people, although they hear catering, they don't know how much things you can offer under the catering umbrella. So at times it is kind of like a lot to have to define what happens under catering, because when people think about catering, they just think about food. They don't think about the event decor. They don't think about like actual like regular decorations. They don't think about setups. They just think about the food that's coming out. Oh, Chef Jeff made the food. But there's so many different aspects to catering where it could be like a full-on event decor service, and it's everything you need. It's a one-stop shop.
Okay, so best event. Like when did you figure like, hey, wow, Chef Jeff, this is for real?
So it was actually before I even became Chef Jeff, which even pushed me to be Chef Jeff Catering, was I worked with my cousin, who was also named Chef Jeff as well, and he had his catering company, and I was always helping him out. And he was actually getting married, and so he had me on his event as the pasta station chef. So he had pasta station, he had a meat station, he had pastries, he had seafood. None of those other guys showed up. So now not having any of those guys show up, whatever the case may be, it was kind of crazy. So at that point, it was like do or die. What do you do? Do you let your cousin's wedding go awry, or do you, do you make it work? Do you make it work? So I had to make it work, basically. It was a 400-person wedding, and they had the staff already there, ready to roll, and everybody's looking at me like, well, you went to culinary school, what are you gonna do? So at that point, it was either fight or flight, and I had to fight. So it was actually from that moment I knew, like, okay, I can do this. Because that's why I kind of work backwards. Some people come into it like, doing smaller events, small scale events. No, I came in like doing 400 events. St. John's, 300, 400. All of these big college events is just by the hundreds. So, now where I'm at now, fast forward where I'm at now, doing like the small couture type events with the fine dining and, the plating and stuff like that. It's a complete 360, but it was a roller coaster ride.
So let me ask you one of my main questions that I ask everybody that comes on this show. Did you come from an affluent family?
So, in regards to that, I'm West Indian, I'm Haitian, so you already know how that goes. There's not that much support that comes into doing things that are out of the cookie cutter. You gotta be a doctor, a nurse. You have to be those things in order for them to see success. So it's like if you do something out of the norm, you have to prove to them why you did that and why you're gonna. So you have to be 10 times as great as what normally has to be for them to understand what's going on with that. But after that occurred, it took some years for them to really realize, like, okay, maybe this is it. And then, getting the celebrity clientele, the consistent bookings, and said, okay, maybe this is it.
Okay, celebrity clientele, like who so far?
Celebrity clientele
that you can mention.
That I can know that I don't add in. There's no craziness. Tiana Taylor, Leslie Jones, Sergi Baca, Salt and Pepper. Well, actually, Pepper from Salt and Pepper. I just recently did Danielle from Real Housewives of New Jersey. A bunch of them. Who else? It's a lot.
So basically, right now you have a celebrity clientele. So you would say you come from a Haitian background. You weren't rich.
No.
Okay, so basically, this is something you pretty much grinded, and you got to the level where you're at.
Basically.
So I say that to tell you that not only for those people who want to get into catering or any other kind of business, once again, I'm bringing you people that are grinding, people that are starting from nothing and making their way, trying to prove the point that you don't necessarily need to have a ton of resources. Yes, those things do get things done, but the first, I guess, ingredient that you obviously need is the desire to grind, the desire to do something, productive with your life. And Black-owned business, once again, needs support. So where can they find you, Chef Jeff?
Well, you can find me all over. You can find me walking the streets. You can find me you can find me on first and foremost my website, which is www.chefjeffcatering.com. And the Chef Jeff Catering actually goes through everything. You can find it on Facebook, and you can find it also on Instagram. So that's www.chefjeffcatering.com. You can search Chef Jeff Catering on Instagram and Facebook. And if you want to follow my personal page, it's Chef Jeff Did It.
Okay, so for those of you who are not in New York, if you're in New York, try Chef Jeff Catering or recommend this man to someone that's out here. And thanks for watching. Any last words, Chef Jeff?
Anybody that watches and has aspirations or hopes to be a chef, I just say just keep grinding. Like the beginning is just never ever easy, and when it does get easy, it's gonna be, you'll appreciate your process so much more.
All right, on that note, until the next time, thanks for watching.